Hi everyone, it's Sally again and with another episode of Magic Mike Moments. And today I've got a little bit of a cold, so bear with me, but I'm very excited to be sitting down and having a chat with Gina Callan. Welcome, Gina.
Hi, Sal. Nice to see you.
I'm loving your background. It's very gorgeous, actually.
Yeah, look, it takes me back to my roots. I'm a country girl at heart, and so there's something about the sunshine on beautiful wheat heads that I love.
Wow, yeah, my allergies wouldn't like it, but it looks beautiful from
Yes, that's true.
So I thought I'd just read a little bit of a bio about you, just an introduction. You're a civil marriage celebrant with your business license to wed and a relationship and mindset coach with Ambit Coaching, as we can see in the background there. So you're also a Bling Angel, which I am, and you're 007. Woohoo! You're the love and joy angel. So you're healing hearts all over the world and conducting regular bling readings, coaching sessions, bling things, bling flings and events. And you're also the co-author of the book Beyond Limitations, which is now available on Amazon. So yours is chapter 1, Abyss to Abundance. Wow, when did you launch that?
So it's been launched informally around about 6 weeks ago, but I will have a nice formal launch ahead. There's just some promotional work being done in the background. So when that's ready to go, we're off.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank
You have got so many qualifications. You're also an NLP practitioner, an EDISC and Metadynamics Profiler, a trainer and a speaker. You're a wife of almost 35 years. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Mother of 2 young men and a grandmother. So you're a nana of 3 boys. You're also a daughter and carer for her mama and lover of family and friends. I didn't realize you're an ex-registered nurse.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I nursed for around about 15 years.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It was all country girls, in my era were raised to become teachers or nurses and
Yep.
informed we'd always be portable, and that's what we do until married, and then our husbands would look after us. But of course, that never really happened, that last bit.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Where did you grow up? What area?
So I grew up in Armidale in northern New South Wales, and in town, not on a property, but I was fortunate to have a grandmother who had a property. So there were plenty of times on the farms with all the cousins, and it's pretty nice childhood.
Yeah, brilliant. So what else? You community mediator. What's a servant? So you're ex-registered nurse and a servant.
And sorry, in service?
Oh, no, you had servant next to ex-registered nurse, community mediator, disability support worker, training consultant, and you're happy to work predominantly from home. So that's nice. But you're currently still studying, completing diplomas in mindfulness, clinical hypnotherapy, and studying to become a certified happiness coach too. Man, you are a busy chick, like full on busy.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of doing, but there's also a lot of being as well in all these certifications. They're great for me as an individual, and it's wonderful that I can then share my learnings with other people.
I like you, just a beautiful soul, absolutely. So I just read a little bit of a bio. You're passionate about empowering women, couples, and groups to experience more joy in love, life, and leadership. You really are passionate about that. You help people feel to heal from past conditioning, trauma, and relationships gone sour. You're helping people tune into themselves and move from feeling stuck and overwhelmed to being in the moment and addressing their fears, phobias, anxiety, various habits, and issues of their emotional health. When people fall back in love with themselves and can shift their focus from the past or future to the now and to who they are being and becoming, it's incredibly rewarding. So your superpower is appreciating people as the hero of their own journey, whole and complete, and also able to expand themselves. No one needs fixing, even when feeling lost or lonely. Gina comes from a heart space to help people pause, breathe, and shift their thinking and emotions. In this way, they reset, reignite, and reconnect with their self to experience their most important relationship, joy, and abundance. So you are driven by your love of family, and I know that, having known you, and compassion for working with those who are lonely, but committed to finding more joy, balance, and abundance in love, life, and leadership. Your legacy is to leave this planet knowing you've helped people to understand their own value, that you contributed value and meaning to their lives. Gina, that's just beautiful. And you are such a beautiful soul. So
Thank you for a lovely introduction. It does sound a lot when you say it all in one.
yeah, a bit of a mouthful. But yeah, I mean, you've been on an amazing journey. What have been some of the challenges to get you to where you are right here, right now? I mean, as you said, you grew up in the country and expectations to be a nurse or a teacher, defying all those sort of, expectations, I suppose.
Yeah, look, I think I'm probably not unique in terms of being raised in a generation where, my parents did the very best with the resources they had, but they were raised in a generation themselves where, women took a fairly passive role in life. They were there to support the men in their lives. And I guess when I was 17, left home, began nursing and met my now husband, I was probably, pretty much a people pleaser and someone who was willing to take a back seat to make everyone else around me very happy. And I have no regrets about being like that. I think I was just a lovely, naive country kid.
Yeah.
But of course, as time moved on and I matured and faced a chronic illness and all kinds of other family issues that have been, I guess situations that we've worked through. They didn't happen to us, but they happened for us. But over time, I just realised that there was so much more to life and so much more to being the authentic person that I was born to be. So I decided to, pause, reset, reignite, and reconnect it with who I am as an individual. Step into my queen energies and start learning more and more about myself and start just being more rather than doing. So whilst I've done a lot of study, I have also, and continue to do so, I'm a lifelong learner, I'm also looking after me these days and putting me as a priority. And that's actually had a great ripple effect on the family and on our close friends as well. So, I'm quite happy with my lot in life. And I've realised that happiness comes from within. It doesn't come from anything external to us. We have everything we need within. And if we just put ourselves as our main priority and are functionally selfish, we can actually benefit everyone around us and support them and empower them so much more too. So
absolutely. It's, it's that whole oxygen mask, look after yourself first. And I love it because you're walking the talk. As you said, you're a lifelong learner and you're just, you're living what you're learning and what you're also teaching others. So tell me about your time as a celebrant. So how long have you been doing that?
Yeah, so after I finished my time as a nurse, I actually joined the public service because we moved to Canberra and that's what I thought, would be a great way forward. And it was great. I learned lots and lots of skills, but I was doing all the time in that job. It was not a job that my natural superpowers were that comfortable in. And after about 15 years, whilst I did have a great career, I started feeling really burnt out.
Yeah, right.
And I decided, I could be working from home more and more in future. So I trained as a celebrant. I've always loved working with women and couples and caring for people. I guess that's the nurse and the country girl in me. Yeah. And I thought celebrancy is a beautiful business. It allows me to, step into my happy zone and really facilitate beautiful celebrations of love and meaning and tell people's stories,
I love that.
In the old days, you used to just step into a church and get married and no one really cared too much about who you were as an individual and a couple and as a family. Yeah. And these days, of course, couples want, their expectations are much higher. They want so much more of their wedding day. So, it was really nice while I was still a public servant to be doing that on a casual basis. And then I found, I loved it and was reasonably good at it. So in the end, I stepped back from my full-time job and moved into full-time celebrancy for a while. And it's been, a highly rewarding way to connect with people. Yeah.
Beautiful. You can just, you can feel your passion and your empathy for people with what they're going through and the magic of the day, right? And you really add to that. Oh, is that you or me? Right, that's me.
You're a popular lady, Sally.
No, I've got this guy that having a meeting with in Vancouver. Got the times wrong. But you mentioned before, you just tipped on the superpower. Your superpower, appreciating people as the hero of their own journey. I love that, right? So really giving people the space so that they can create their journey moving through, and
and I think, marriages was just, I guess a stepping stone for me to really connect with a lot of couples and realise that many people, even though they're much younger than me, have been raised in similar circumstances with lots of expectations around how they should be. And they've never really thought about how they want to be as an individual or as a couple. And many couples don't even, they haven't even thought about what their values are going to be in marriage or in life. So the great thing about celebrating a day with a couple is that you learn about their journey to get to that day and what their hopes and dreams are for the future.
Yeah.
And sometimes you uncover some areas of, both strengths and stretch, and you can assist them to step forward into marriage, really understanding what the foundations of what makes a great relationship, and how they can set as a couple meaning-driven goals as opposed to ambition-driven goals. So many people in the world now are, focused on what they can get out of life rather than what they can contribute and who they can be and show up as each day. So, it's been a really interesting journey with particularly women, because women inside of a couple tend to take a leadership role when it comes to the emotional health of their relationship. So, it's been beautiful working with women and men, but predominantly, my clients are women, and we can have, when we work on ourselves, we can have such an amazing ripple effect on our relationships.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's good to be popular.
I just right. So, but that was leading into what you would you mentioned with the meaning-driven goals versus the ambition goals. What do you think is the biggest issue facing your clients? Is it linking into that?
I think the biggest issue facing my clients, and probably facing, most people in the world today, is that we're on autopilot.
Yep.
We don't stop and simply be in the moment with intention, with gratitude, and with the attitude that we can make a difference in our own lives. But I also think people are very lonely. We're so connected on social media, but the reality is, and especially in this last few years, of course, with the pandemic, people are really isolated.
Yep. Tell me about it. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Time.
And they're isolated often from their own feelings. Many of my clients have never been taught as young people to understand their emotions, to name them, lean into them and really feel them, and to, they haven't learned to let them go and simply be and accept that some things are beyond our control, but many things are not. And with the right support, you can regain control over your life and your important relationships, which are the basis for everything we do.
Absolutely. I mean, emotions sort of govern our body, right? We feel stuff all the time, and what we think we feel. And it's managing and having the tools to deal with our emotions. And as you say, don't just tuck them away, but, give them some airplay and then manage them appropriately with the tools and techniques, particularly what you've got in your toolbox, that you can help people with?
Yeah, well, many people, we're stuck in our heads. We forget about our hearts. We
Yep.
forget about our soul and our true identity.
Yeah.
We don't stop to think about the legacy we want to leave in life.
Yeah.
And we don't really determine what our values are. We sit with the values that we were raised with and assume that those should be our governing values for life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to revisiting some of our limiting beliefs and looking at where stuff has stemmed from. No, it's really important to do that, particularly now as we want to bring more happiness into our days, right? Life's too short, and just to, have meaningful, purposeful days as opposed to just getting through them.
Yeah, and look, many of us, I think, our self-talk, the way we speak to ourselves. Sorry, there's a fly at my end. It's all this country grass around me. But many of us are so busy doing
Yep.
that we just really don't ever stop and connect with who we are showing up as each day.
Yep, absolutely. And it's stop and smell the roses, like absolutely, or smell the wheat in the back.
Yeah, and we're born these amazing little individuals. We're naturally happy. As children, we laughed a couple of hundred times a day. And here we are as adults in this current world,
Yep.
facing, sure, a lot of different challenges. But it's just so sad that many of us laugh less than 20 times a day. We just fail to appreciate the here and now and everything we do have in our relationships. And we fail to show our gratitude to our partners in life, to our friends and family, our work colleagues, our teams in business. So, I've made it my life's mission to really empower joy in love, life and leadership. And I think women predominantly, we are very much the leaders, whether society agrees with that and accepts that. It is the reality, and we can have a huge effect on people around us.
Yeah, just love it. I just love how it's about love, life and leadership. It's just a perfect trio.
And it's a journey, I have to say, Sal. I'm not perfect in any of these or all of these areas. It's just an ongoing journey. But certainly I feel a more authentic person with a greater depth of happiness in my life now that I've done these years of work both on myself and hopefully sharing what I've learned with my clients too.
You're just a gorgeous person. You just emanate gorgeousness. Plus you're fun and funny, like just hilarious.
I'm a bit cheeky sometimes, yeah. So, but I think that's good. We need to be more playful and childlike sometimes without being childish.
Yeah, exactly. There is that fine line as a coach.
Yeah.
Kids, right?
Yeah.
So what are your 3 top tips, do you think, based on everything that you've learned, and you've been alluding to in our discussion? 3 top tips for people moving forward in life at the moment.
Oh, look, I would say it's so important to live in the moment, be present, intentional, and have the attitude of simply being the person you were born to be. That would be my first tip. And then to let go of, many of the ambition-driven goals that we've been raised to think we need to achieve, and focus on setting some real meaning-driven values and goals for our life going forward so that we can find happiness. So I would say practice, mindfulness, practice meditation, practice self-hypnosis. I love hypnosis because it really does put us in control as the driver of our own bus or sports car, depending on how you think. So I would say to people, really get into calming your mind and learn the techniques of self-hypnosis, which will help you eat, sleep and feel better, and which really give you more fulfillment in your mind, heart, body and soul.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've done part of your course too, the hypnosis one, and you're really good at it. And it was perfect. We did it in the evening. So it was just really nice to walk away out of that session feeling that sense of calmness, peace before you go to bed, right? So that the evening, resetting at the end of the day with all the manicness and the craziness and all that sort of stuff. No, hypnosis, it's very powerful.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we have people like you, Sal, who are holistically fit and are so good at the body work. I guess my focus is more on the mind, the heart, and the soul.
Yep.
But I did send a lovely workbook out to my clients about, the pillar of the body as just one of the pillars of our overall happiness.
Yeah.
Because the body is so important, and you're right. We feel in our body every day. If we only listen and lean into those feelings, we can have a much happier heart, mind, and soul too.
Absolutely, because your body just sends you messages from your mind and your soul, and it's just like whatever's going on in your body, it's going to start yelling at you if you don't stop and listen to it. So you start to get ailments, you start to get sick, and it's just the vessel delivering the messages from your mind and your soul. So it's like your car.
And that's what made me write in this collaborative book recently. About moving from being in an emotional abyss to to abundance, and it is. I talk a bit in the book about the fact that I developed I was diagnosed with a chronic pain condition that I've probably had since I was very, very young. And I think now that I've listened to my body so much more over the last 10 years, I am much more physically healthy as well as emotionally happy. And I would encourage people to really, when they are faced with problems, to work, not try and go around them, but to work their way through them with the support of someone. Ask for help, from someone who's been in that situation and really understands the challenges involved. Life's not easy, but when we face it full on, and try and expand ourselves rather than contracting ourselves, we can achieve so much. We're incredible individuals, all of us.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm all about the holistic approach, and so are you. It's every part. It's not just one. You're particularly on the mind, heart, and soul, and I'm the same sort of thing. So expanding ourselves, expand, become more consciously connected to ourselves. Own our stuff. There's not much stuff that we can control in our lives, but what we can, step into the driver's seat, like you said before. So, So at the end of the day, I mean, you're so passionate about lots of things. What is the thing that gets you up every day that you're so passionate about and puts that smile on your dial and gets all those muscles moving? I think I can't remember how many muscles it takes to smile, but it's twice as many to frown.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you know, at the core of who I am, I guess, is my love of family.
Right, yeah.
And I would do anything for my family, but I've realised over the years that means I have to look after me first, because when I'm not emotionally healthy and fit, and I'm not coming from a heart space and traveling my soul's journey, looking after my body and so on, I can't be there for my family. And so it's really a case of making that choice each and every day. If that's what I value the most, that's where I need to expend my time, effort, and energy.
I think that's a really good point, is making it a priority, the thing that is important to you, because as we were talking about before with the oxygen mask, you're no good to anybody else if your health or emotional health or physical health or whatever is starting to flail. So it's about boosting you up and making that a priority and being okay with that, not feeling guilty, not putting everyone else first. We see that all the time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, shame loves shadows. And, we can be a victim to the conditioning we've had and our upbringing, and we can, see all the challenges involved in looking after ourselves and see doing that as being selfish, but it's actually so functional to stop and make yourself a priority, to love yourself. And that's a really hard thing to do when you've never done it before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's just once you chip away at it, it's just simple little small steps towards it. But it's so required in this age, particularly now, to put yourself first and shift your mindset and get rid of these old limiting belief patterns and thoughts and judgments and expectations. Let that go. Totally. So,
Yeah.
sorry, what were we going to say?
I was just going to say, I think many of us have been driven for a lot of our lives by fears, and
Yep.
predominantly the three fears I've found with my clients are a fear of not being loved or lovable,
Yep.
a
Yep.
fear of not being enough, and a fear of not being, not mattering, not being significant, and worrying about other people's judgment. So a lot of my clients, they think it's going to be really hard to address these issues, but you're right, with small steps, incremental steps that compound, we can address them all. And it's actually pretty easy when you ask for help and you have the right support.
Yeah, absolutely. I like you just resonate, just beautiful, warm, caring energy, Gina. And I've known you for a while now, and you've got all the words up your sleeve, like shame, love, shadows, and you've got all the lines. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, I guess, look, we all as coaches do a lot of reading, of course. And I guess for many coaches, it's pretty hard to be original because there are beautiful ways that people have already come up with to explain these situations. But look, I think the Bling code is a wonderful thing. I love being a Bling Angel with people like you, Sal, because we draw on all that knowledge, but we also bring our own experience and wisdom to what we do. And we all have different styles in the way we deliver our Bling sessions and use the cards of the Find Your Bling game, which was created by the fabulous Angie Rassi, of course, to support and assist our clients. And that's just one of many tools that we all have, and they're all different.
And that's what I really love is, yes, we've got these massive toolbox, and it's just incorporating. And the Bling stuff is really good because you do activities and things that bring it all together from a different approach that you probably may not have done before with the different activities. So I just love it. So if anyone's resonating with Gina and would like to reach out or get a copy of your book, where do I send people?
Oh, send them to me on Facebook at Gina Callan, Ambit Coaching. They can email me at any time, and it's gina@ambitcoaching.com.au. I've got a LinkedIn page, an Instagram page, and a website, www.ambitcoaching.com.au. But they can always pick up the phone too. All my details are on the website. I do love a good chat, as you can tell. But I do like to connect with people and really appreciate who they are.
Yeah, no, you're just a gorgeous person. So I'll put all of the details under the post when we post it. But Gina, thank you so much for coming on today and putting up with my voice, putting up with my drippy nose, putting up with the flies.
Can I say you should immediately release an album, Sal, and become famous like Rod Stewart or Bonnie Tyler or someone with a beautiful husky voice. I think you sound fine, and I hope you're feeling much, much better very soon.
Oh, thank you. I've just been talking a lot this week. It literally is that. So, Well, Gina, thank you once again for coming on to Magic Mike Moments. I really look forward to posting you out there and to getting a copy of your book and reading your chapter, which is, what was it, Abyss to Abundance?
That's right. And thank you for having me today, Sal. I really appreciate the opportunity to have this chat, and it's great knowing you. You're a great gal, and look forward to working with you as a Bling Angel and in other ways too.
Thanks, Gina. I only have funsters on this program, so.
Oh, cool. Well, it'll be great to see you in person soon too. The Bling retreat was wonderful, and it'll be great to get us all together and catch up soon.
Reunion, I love them.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, thanks again, Gina, and we'll see you again shortly. See ya.
Bye. See you.